Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen. I'm your host, Nicole Gaffney, and joining me in the kitchen today is Iron Chef Jose Garces of Garces Group.
Hey.
Great to have you here today.
Pleasure to be here.
All right.
So excited.
What are we making?
We're making a Spanish paella and a classic fideo, which is also Spanish, but something that's just really hearty, wholesome. I wanted to share with everybody, and we want to demystify paella.
Yes.
I want to make it simple and easy. I think folks get too caught up with it. They're intimidated by it. So we're going to make it, the Garces way.
It's beautiful. That's what the people want.
Exactly.
All right, let's get started.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my paella pan. This is a 14-inch paella pan.
It's a beautiful pan.
It's a nice pan, and I think this one has been in the restaurants. It gets a lot of use.
Yeah, you've had this a while.
Yeah, the more I find the pans, like the more you break them in, the more flavor there is.
Absolutely, they're seasoned.
That's right, and I think it definitely goes to say that for paella pans. And this one has seen some battles.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So here I'm gonna. I have some chicken breasts and chicken thighs.
This has been heavily marinated, I can see.
Heavily marinated. Yeah, it just has a little bit of paprika and garlic.
Now, is that like a smoked Spanish paprika?
It's a smoked Spanish paprika, a little bit of garlic, some olive oil, just pureed.
Yeah.
And then just a little bit of salt and pepper.
How long do you let that marinate for?
So I usually like to let it marinate overnight
or
so, and I do a lot of marinades with all of my proteins. I just find that it lends nice flavor to whatever it is that you're cooking. All right, so I have a little olive oil, and this pan is going to be really hot.
Big time, yeah. You can already see it starting to sizzle.
I'm going to pull it off. And so the thing with paella pans, it's a lot of temperature gauging.
Because it's thinner. It's not like a thick cast iron.
It's very thin, and so I'm getting my olive oil nice and hot. And I'll usually what I want to get is some nice browning on this chicken.
Yeah.
And you can see already the pan is cooled down.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm going to bring it back over and get it hot again.
So it's a lot of kind of playing back and forth with the fire.
It is, a lot of that. And yeah, I think while this is going, I'm going to start getting my other sofrito going.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of, this is going to be for our clam dish.
Nice.
So I have a non-stick pan, I think will work nicely with this. A little bit of veggie oil. And again, you notice I have chorizo. I'll have chorizo in both of these recipes.
Okay.
This is chorizo Bilbao. It's a Spanish chorizo. I just find this chorizo has so much flavor in it. It's nicely done. It's tightly bound, but it has, it's already cured, so you're good.
Delicious.
We're gonna let that render out. A lot of my cooking is really based upon building flavors.
Yeah.
So it's about starting with good quality ingredients, as well as you'll see I'll add my aromatics into this and just start to build the flavor up.
Where do you get your chorizo from?
So this is imported from Spain. It comes, our purveyor is De España out of New York, and they've been giving us great Spanish ingredients for a long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very important to get the good ingredients.
It is. So this is going.
It's already getting a little brown on the bottom.
Getting there,
which is nice.
I'm gonna crank it up a little bit more.
Okay.
Because we can do that. Here at the Chef's Kitchen,
this little one too.
we like to crank up the heat.
That's right, we like to cook.
That's right.
You're really known for Spanish cuisine. Let's talk a little bit about your restaurants that you have here in Philadelphia and all over the place.
Sure. Yeah, so I've had a very fortunate career.
For sure. Very impressive career.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm known for Latin cuisine, but I have come outside of Latin cuisine. We have a burger and bourbon bar called Village Whiskey.
I love Village Whiskey.
Thank
Those
you.
duck fat fries are my weakness.
Thank you. We have that's on 20th and Sansom. I also recently opened at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. I opened a Japanese izakaya called Okachi. So we loved cooking Japanese food.
Flavorful food.
Flavorful food. When I was filming Iron Chef, one of the battles was in Tokyo.
Oh wow.
And just loved the cuisine. I loved the passion of the Japanese culture for great ingredients.
Right.
So I wanted to go back and recreate some of the experiences I had.
Awesome.
And so yeah, and that's the beauty of cooking is really you're always inspired, whether it's travel, whether it's cookbooks, whether it's just dining out, you're always getting inspired and learning.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about our profession.
And then you come back and you create new experiences for other people.
Exactly.
We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the chef's kitchen.
All right, so this is browning, and you know, part of cooking is being patient.
Yeah.
Right? You got to take your time, right? Things got to cook the right way.
For sure.
So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pull this chicken off, and we also had some lemon, kind of little lemon slices in here. Yeah.
So they've kind of gotten nice and caramelized.
Yeah. And next we're going to start to build the flavor of this paella. So the chicken's nice and brown, and the reason we browned it is to seal in some of the juices, but also to create this nice fond on the bottom of the pan.
Yeah, you get all those browned bits.
All the little bits, and those are going to be deglazed. I'm going to bring my pan back.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little more olive oil here, and then we're going to start to render out some chorizo as well. So another batch of chorizo. If you don't like chorizo, this is not the show for
bad.
you. Yes, if you do, you're in a good place.
I noticed you're using olive oil in this pan and you used vegetable oil over here. Is there any reason for that?
You know, typically it was just closer.
Just
so
convenience.
I would prefer to use olive oil mostly.
Spanish olive oil?
Spanish olive oil, yeah. Because it just adds a little more flavor.
And an extra virgin olive oil?
I wouldn't use extra virgin olive oil because you know, I use extra virgin olive oil for finishing.
Sure.
And you know, we're not quite finishing here. We're cooking. You know, we're rendering.
And high heat, nonetheless.
And high heat.
Right.
So I'm gonna render. That chorizo is gonna go pretty quick.
Yeah, it already got really nice and brown on one side.
Yeah, and really what I want to do here is I want the chorizo's made with a good amount of pork fat and paprika and garlic. So what I want to have happen is I want some of that fat to start to leach out of the chorizo, and then we're gonna add some aromatics.
Okay.
And that is a mixture of sweet peppers and onions. And I have a little bit of chopped garlic over there, Nicole, right? That sliced garlic, yeah. So you got the fat from the chicken. You've got some fat from that chorizo. And we're gonna start to like really caramelize all of those peppers and onions and aromatics. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because you don't want to go too...
Right, those onions and garlic could start to brown a little too much.
Yeah. We'll let that kind of go.
It smells incredible in here already.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've just got kind of scratched the surface here and it already smells great.
All right, how are we doing here? We're going to let that
rendering
go.
Nice and slow.
All right, let's turn it up a little bit. Let's get a little more rendering going. I'm going to add a little more oil.
All right. We'll go olive oil this time.
Olive oil, yeah. And this is looking pretty good. You know, a lot of cuisines have their base kind of backbone. So in French cuisine, it's mirepoix.
Sure.
In New Orleans style cuisine, they call it the Holy Trinity.
Yep.
And so in Spanish cuisine, it's sofrito, and that sofrito really is, I think, really what makes things taste good.
Yeah.
And gives it a lot of depth. So we've got our so these onions and garlic. Peppers, that's
sofrito?
That's sofrito.
Yeah.
That's our sofrito.
Okay.
Here. All right, so we have our Valencia rice or Calaspara rice. It's a short grain.
Very short.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny.
Smaller than, than an arborio. It's right in the same family, but a little smaller.
And why do you want to use a short grain rice for this?
I mean, I think it's traditional. It's classic. It's probably what's available in the area.
Yeah.
What I want to do now is coat all those kernels.
So this is a really important step, am I right?
Yeah, you're toasting the rice. You're kind of sealing it in, and you're getting some of those aromatic flavors on the rice itself. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to let it toast up. Yeah. How's this looking? I'm going to add a little bit of garlic in here. We're going to sweat this. So now this is looking nice and toasty. We're going to add we have a saffron chicken broth.
Nice.
And this was just made with just a good quality stock and fresh saffron. And really, the rice is going to take on the character of this stock. So I'm going to taste it. Pull that off.
So it's important that you're working with a high quality stock for this.
Yeah, this stock or broth, this is what the rice kernel is going to soak in.
Yeah.
So if this is bland or not well seasoned or doesn't taste good, then your rice is not going to taste good.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm moving pans just to make sure we don't burn things here. Boom. Okay, let's taste this, Nicole. What do you think?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little spoon.
Oh, I get to taste too?
You get the taste, yeah.
My lucky day.
Here you go, give that a shot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the saffron in there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So it's a very simple, straightforward chicken broth with some bloom saffron.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add this in to my paella.
What's the ratio rice to liquid?
It's about, for a cup of rice, about 1 1/4 cup of stock or broth.
So a cup of rice, 1 1/4.
Yeah,
Okay.
not equal, just a little bit more.
Yep.
And that usually gets it done.
Awesome.
We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
I'm gonna let this come up. And I'm gonna add a few important ingredients to this
All right.
to kind of make this paella kind of come up a little, elevate it a little more. We have some fresh peas.
You always work with fresh peas?
While they're in season, yes. And this is kind of a traditional, traditional ingredient in paella.
So laborious,
It is, it is.
but worth it.
Yes, and we have some olives I'm putting in here. These are just black Kalamata olives.
Nice.
I have some piquillo peppers,
Beautiful.
2 of these guys.
Now, could you finish this entirely on the stove if you wanted to?
You could. I just find that the rice doesn't cook as evenly.
Okay.
So I actually cover it with a little foil and put it in the oven. And I'm going to throw my chicken back in here. And it's important that I submerge it into the stock because it needs to continue to cook, but it's also
Okay.
going to flavor the rice.
Sure. It's so colorful already.
This is
So much going
This
on.
is the thing of beauty. We eat with our eyes.
Definitely.
And so this is really, a great way. This paella feeds 2 to 4, depending
It's
on how
great
hungry
for
you
a
are.
crowd if you even have one of those really big paella pans.
If you have a big one, I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen paella pans that are 18 or 20 inches. You could put it on all 4 burners.
Sure.
And for a party of, 6 people.
It's what they do in Spain, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I've got my mussels here. I'm gonna put these
Okay.
in here.
Now, is paella the national dish of Spain? Am I correct in that?
I mean, I think that when you think of Spanish cooking, I think paella is one of the first thing that pops out.
Absolutely.
That's looking good.
All right.
I'm going to cover it with foil and put it in the oven.
All right.
And it's important that you let it come up to a simmer. Just let it
Before you put it in the oven?
before you put it in. Yeah, it kind of gets the rice started.
Okay. And you get a tight seal on the foil, or do you want to
Yeah,
leave a little?
I want to
room
leave a
breathe?
little. I want to leave a little room.
Okay.
But not too much. All right, we'll go right in. Boom, boom, boom. So we had this one cooking.
Yeah.
Right, we had one going already, and so you can see it just looks beautiful.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, and so what you're looking for is a little bit of crunchiness on
Okay.
top, and then a creamy rice center. So this rice center is, see how creamy that is?
Yeah.
So then that shows you. So you're gonna get some rice kernels that are fully popped, and then the top part sometimes can be a little crunchy, and that's okay. That's
All right.
part
so
of
you
the
want
deal.
a little bit of textural contrast in there.
That's right. And then, a key to paella, and everyone says this, is the socarrat, right? So the crispy part. So here.
That's what I'm all about.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on the heat.
Okay, so that's how you get
And I'm
that.
going to let it crisp up,
Nice. You can already hear it. It's talking to us.
and I'm going to let it almost burn.
Okay.
You ready for that?
I'm ready.
We'll see how
I'm
it
into
goes.
it.
All right?
I trust you. It's not your first rodeo, I'm sure.
Yeah. So to finish this guy, we have a few elements. I have some nice fresh baguette, and the meal is a double starch. It's the rice and the bread. It's
My
a big,
favorite kind of meal.
big part of it. I have some beautiful saffron aioli, and the aioli is a big part of it. So this is a garlic mayo finished with saffron, and it adds just the right amount of creaminess
Right.
to this whole.
Really kind of livens it up.
Yep. All right. Boom.
Adds such a great color, too.
Thank you. And then we'll put some of our beautiful leaves on there.
Gotta have some greens, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
a little bit. Yeah. A little bit of olive oil. And I think we're good. Socarrat-wise, I
Awesome.
can smell it.
Yeah.
It's coming. I'm going to bring it over here.
Perfect.
And I'm going to hit it with some fresh lemon petals, too. few of these guys.
Nice. So you just squeeze those right over
Squeeze
top
those
right before you eat it?
right over the top.
Nice.
And that smells really good.
It smells really good.
You got that, you know, the seafood flavor from the clams. That juice went down. The chicken and the broth that it cooked in. Also, that rice. That bite of rice has got to be good. It can't be bad.
I would not doubt that for a second.
All right.
Very excited to dig into that.
All right. So this is going to feel a little more like Iron Chef style.
All right.
So let's we got to cook something
We gotta
really
do it
good,
fast.
really fast. So all that beautiful chorizo flavor has rendered itself out. We've got our garlic there.
Yep.
We're gonna put some clams in here as well.
What kind of clams are these?
Manila or little neck clams. Some of that clam liquid's gonna kind of come out in the broth.
Great.
Classic Spanish flavor.
Yep.
We've got some sea beans
I love
as well.
these. They're so cool.
Yeah, they're nice. They add a little bit of that sea flavor into it.
We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
We have our Spanish Fideos. So you can see these are a small,
And you said this is a rice noodle.
it's a rice noodle, yeah. It's a small vermicelli, very thin. I'm gonna add that. We've already toasted it.
I was going to ask you about that. Yep.
Yeah, so we already toasted. Normally they come in like a little blonde. Add that into that.
So then you just put them in a pan with oil and cook them until they're dark?
Yeah, just cook them in a pan with oil, just so they're toasty.
All right.
And I'm gonna toast them again.
That adds a lot of flavor.
You can see it's already looking pretty good. I have a little bit of white wine I'm gonna add to this mix. And then some stock.
And what kind of stock is this?
So this is, again, our saffron.
Same thing as
Yeah.
before? Okay.
This is saffron clam stock.
Oh, nice. So saffron's a really heavily used ingredient in Spanish cuisine.
It is.
Yeah.
It's definitely pretty prevalent. And we're just gonna let that
Those are popping open already. That's
popping
so
up
fast.
right now.
That
All right,
looks
so
awesome.
our Fideos are nice and creamy. They've soaked up all of that stock.
Big time.
They've soaked up all the clam and chorizo flavor. They're gonna be a little bit al dente, but still creamy.
Okay.
This is perfect.
It looks great.
Let's do it. So to plate this, very simple. This is a Spanish style cazuela. I love these dishes
They're
because
great.
you can we cook our gambas al ajillo, our garlic shrimp. Cook them right on the stove. They can go up to like 800 degrees. Put them in the oven. It's a great, but I also like them just as a serving dish as well.
Yeah, I burn my tongue on those shrimp every time I order them at Amada, so you're not kidding about that. Now, are these recipes classic Amada recipes?
The fedwa we just recently put on. The paella, I kind of revamped it after several years of serving it one style. And so, yeah, they're new recipes, you know, and that's really what I've been up to is just focusing on our food at all of our restaurants, being the creative kind of visionary behind all the things that we do, and that feels really good.
That's what you're best at.
That's it.
That's how you made your name.
That's it. So I've got this beautiful Fideo dish. I have my garlic aioli right here. I'm just gonna do, you know, a little dollop of that right off to the side. And this is a great tapa or just a great midday afternoon snack.
Looks awesome.
I'm gonna do a little bit of espelette. That's a Spanish chili powder.
Is it spicy?
A little spicy, yep. Some scallions as well.
Nice.
And I'm gonna also give this fresh squeeze of lemon.
That's gorgeous. You want to serve it up?
Sure. And I also brought you some sangria. So this is red wine sangria with lots of macerated fruit, oranges, apples, peaches, a little brandy.
So we have a lot going on in here. Is this traditional or your own little spin?
It's, you know, garcified.
A little bit of both?
Yeah. So you can see this is nice and the steam that comes off the rice. I'm gonna make sure you get a little bit of the aioli right there, some bread, and then here's some of this delicious Fideos. That's for you.
Oh my goodness, this looks so good.
And I'm gonna get some.
Absolutely. Let's have a toast.
Salud.
This was so much fun cooking with you
I
today.
had a blast.
I did too.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yum.
Delish.
Really delish. All right, let's try some of
Let's
this
get in
food.
here. Yeah.
That crust on the bottom, what do you call it?
The socarrat.
Socarrat.
Yeah. So it's
That's my favorite part.
So it's there. You know, I competed against on Beat Bobby Flay, and
Oh, yeah?
they got me for no socarrat,
Oh,
and I did
brutal.
forget to do it. So.
Let's see.
Oh yeah,
It's so good.
crispy, creamy. You got all the flavor from the stock. The Fideos are.
I'm making a mess. That's nothing new here.
Yeah. So everybody make this at home. You can make this. It's so
It
simple.
was. It was
Yeah.
really easy. You have to get the right ingredients.
You know, the chorizo, Spanish-style chorizo, the arborio or calaspara rice, very important. Other than that, all of these things are staple items.
Really simple. I
Good,
love it.
good chicken broth, saffron. You got it.
You demystified it, for
Yeah,
sure.
good. That was the
All
point.
right. Thank you again for
My
coming on the show
pleasure.
today.
Thank
Please
you.
come back and see us again.
Will do.
All right.
Absolutely.
We'll have you anytime.
So back again after many years of not coming on the show. I appreciate being here. It was so much fun. Cole was a great host. The studio's awesome. And yeah, it's just good to be back and teaching people how to cook.